All right, man. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is One-on-One with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and content pushers, and people you should know. And right now, man, I'm speaking with somebody that I think over the pandemic, we became extended fam. It's the homie Ty Davis, comedian, writer, man, everything, content creator. How you doing, Ty?
I'm groovy like a drive-in movie, Young Deuces. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm definitely doing great. It's funny because like this binge should have happened, but I was trying to have it like I try to map out how I do a couple of these interviews and everything like that. So I was like, all right, I know it's going to be easy for me to get tied. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get it wrong, but I wanted to make sense. So it's like, all right, great. I'm going to get a couple of strong Black women that I respect, and I said I'm going to make sure I get them on. And so that was like, all right, yeah. And then BT kind of tried to put me on blast on our Zoom at that moment.
Yeah, I was like, well, he ain't say nothing.
But it was all love. But so with this, I usually ask everybody how the pandemic has been treating them. But like I said, we've been in a lot of rooms with each other, in a lot of Zooms, in a lot of clubhouses with each other. So I kind of know how your pandemic is going. However, though, one of the things that I did realize, and one of the things that you constantly talk about, you have made a lot of new, like deeper relationships during this pandemic.
Yeah.
What has the pandemic actually taught you, or like what did you take from it so far?
The pandemic has actually reaffirmed that I am able to adapt and evolve no matter what the circumstances are. At the beginning of the pandemic, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was quite difficult. It was rough because my income and everything it was like, what am I gonna do? And I was always one of those, I ain't doing videos. I don't have time. I hit these stages, I'm not doing it. And then it was like, well, you can't get on stage, so what you gonna do? And then last year or the year before last, I was just kind of like, I want to work on my writing, and I'm so tired and I'm exhausted, and I'm burned out. And the time and the rest that I was begging for,
Right.
God was like, okay, you want some rest? You want some time?
That's what you want?
Here you go. And I was like, no, that's not what I meant. Sir, hello, is he? So I just utilized this time, and the pandemic has taught me to you're gonna have to make readjustments. That's just what life is about. You might have a plan to do this, and then the creator will come along and be like, yeah, no. So that's why I think that one of the greatest comedians of all times is God, because you be having these plans and he'd be like, yeah, no. Yeah. So, but that's what it's taught me. It's taught me to adapt, and it's taught me to evolve, and it's taught me how strong I am, and I'm grateful for it. I went back down the road to self-discovery and self-awareness, and I am so proud of the woman that I have become in these past 10 months, that I wanna keep pushing in that direction.
I think that's really what it did. It showed everybody what they're made of. It's like if you are really chasing a passion, this showed a lot of people like, okay, well, what are you going to do when you don't have the norm? Are you going to hustle it out? Are you going to work? Same thing with our platform. Like I said, we were, for the most part, before this pandemic, we were solely an audio podcast. We would go to different areas and do live podcasts and everything, but then like we had these plans, and we had these plans probably like year one, that we want to do video podcasts, then we want to put out content, but we never really buckled down and did it. So then when the pandemic hit, it was just like, all right, let's just do it. And then we went from at a shared space to building this studio that we have now. We went from not having video with the podcast to having video on the podcast. We went from only having the podcast as our main source of entertainment that we provided to now we have 3 shows that we actually put on our YouTube page and that we're constantly building. So it's just like, it really showed us like, okay, do we really want to do this or not? Because we could have easily just fell back and said, well, we'll just wait until everything opened back up and, jump back into the audio area. But we was like, no, we're going to keep it going. And I noticed that, like, that people like yourself, people like Kev, Tahir, CP, just all the people that we generally see that have been flourishing during this time, getting that opportunity to do so, because they're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you can't do this, so I'm gonna hop on Twitch, or I'm gonna hop on YouTube, or I'm gonna hop on Clubhouse, or whatever the case may be, and get that popping. So what I also found was really dope was, though there, like, you've gotten a lot of new people that discovered you, you are actually a vet in
Yeah.
this game. Like, you are a vet. You got some stripes in this game.
I wouldn't say that I'm a vet. I always take that as a compliment when people say it, because I've only been doing stand up for 6 years, a little over 6 years. And so I hit my 6 year anniversary in November during quarantine. But I've worked hard. I've done a lot. I've made a lot of connections, and thankfully to my friends like to hear more and delay. To people like that have big followings, and just us having conversations, they've exposed me to their audience. But I wouldn't call myself a veteran, but I've done a couple things. I done did some stuff. I done did some stuff.
You out here, because I mean, like I said, you were on Heart of the City, that's dope. You're like, that was a big thing
Yeah.
that Heart was put on. And then you won the Comedy Wings competition, right? That was your first national TV debut. So for that to be,
Yeah. It was the timing of things is so super dope, because we filmed Heart of the City in 2018.
right?
So we didn't know for a long time when the release date was going to be, and I started to get a little nervous. I was like, maybe it's not going to come out. And I just continued on in my path to do all of these other things, and I submitted for the Comedy Wings competition at the American Black Film Festival. And the night of the competition was the season premiere of season 3 of Heart of the City.
Oh,
But my episode that I was going to be on was literally 2 weeks later. So I won the festival, and then 2 weeks later, my episode of Heart of the City came out. So it was like, it looked like, oh wow, you won the festival and now you're on TV. And I was like, nah, nigga, like I shot this a year ago.
yeah.
But it was crazy how things aligned, and I had my watch party and my celebration for winning the festival in one event. So I made it a thing. I'm so extra. I do the most. So I had a watch party. I got a flyer made. I was doing all of this stuff. And then it was like right after that, it was like I did the Apollo, and then I got my first television audition, and I got booked for a cruise. So like everything just kind of stacked up all in once. And it looked like, who's that girl? Ooh, she's new. Nah, I've been around. Y'all just ain't know me.
Now,
So
was this before the morning after show, or after?
So I've been on radio since 2016,
Okay.
and I got my own radio show the summer of 2017. So I actually was a radio personality for my own show, the Morning After Show on DTLR Radio, up until March. So when the pandemic hit and everything was shutting down, I was actively working on radio, but they closed down the stores, they closed down the corporate office so they could figure out the whole COVID thing. And so we were doing stuff virtually. So I was doing interviews on the DTLR Instagram page, and I was, connecting that way. And then after a while, it just kind of fizzled out because we had to come up with a plan. And when they brought radio back in August, I wasn't added back to the radio personality lineup, but I'm still very much family with DTLR. They love me, they take care of me, and I'm excited that next month I will be working in conjunction with DTLR and CIAA for the virtual experience. So I'm excited about that.
Is this late breaking news? Am I getting
I mean, you the first person that I told out loud, so
Hey.
you just got the exclusive. So DTLR is doing a comedy segment for CIAA for Baltimore, because we're supposed to be in Baltimore this year. So DTLR is a part of that. And because I'm still family, they was like, hey, we doing a comedy part, and you do comedy, and we love you and we miss you. And I was like, I'm gonna come. And so I recently just did the videos and everything for it. Like the outfit that I have on in my Busset video.
Yeah.
That's the same day that I was shooting all of the stuff for the CIAA thing. Cause I was like, well, since I look cute, I might as well go ahead and do this video.
Right.
So,
which was hilarious. It was like a reverse Busted video.
yeah, I'm not busting nothing.
Um,
So
so speaking of the busted video, just in general, like you always talk about how like you don't you don't get like you don't know how to work the computer phone, but you have been excelling in a lot of the social media platforms with Instagram Live, with Clubhouse, and now TikTok. You know, congrats on your most recent milestone. You know, out here doing the thing. You actually are doing social media well.
so what I excel at, and thank you, by the way, because if anybody who knows me knows that technology, it annoys me. Like if there's something that I could pay somebody to do, yeah, you do that. But if I got to do all this extra stuff, I get frustrated. I get really frustrated when I don't know how to do something. And so, of course, repetition, you get to know it better. But I've always been really good at talking. I can run my mouth all day long. I could talk 10, 12, 17 hours a day. So when I was just sitting at home one day, I was like, what am I going to do? I feel like talking. So I just cut on my Instagram Live. I would use Instagram Live and Facebook Live sparingly when I was on radio, but they would cut it, they would make you cut it off because of music and stuff like that. So I just turned on my Instagram and I just started talking. And so I was like, oh, well, this is easy. I can do that. And then when it came to making videos, I was like, man, I don't I don't want to. And so I would do the quick reels and I learned how to do that. And then I remember one day I reached out to Tahir. I was like, hey, Tahir, you got a second? I want to talk to you. He's like, yeah, Ty, what's up? And I was like, look, I need to make some videos and I don't know how to do that. So can you help me out? And he was like, he literally sent me a video of how to use iMovie. I've had an iPhone for years and I don't touch some of the stuff because that's not my business. It's not my business on how to work some of this stuff. And then a comedian friend of mine in Baltimore, Dave Butler, he was another one that showed me how, he talked me through it. Like I literally would be on FaceTime, like, okay, and you press the button and then you do the what? And so it was the adaptation. It was the evolution of, because it was like, either you're going to die in this and get lost. If Earth reopens, no one's going to remember you. No one's going to care about what you did. They're only going to care about what you're doing. And Rodney Perry always told me, you have to stay kinetic. You have to remain active. Whatever that means to you, you got to do that. And so I just use my OGs and my friends around me. And I like Lawrence Killebrew. I will hit him up in a minute. I'll be like, hey, how you do the thing on the TikTok? How you tick the top? And so I'm learning as I go. I don't know everything, but I'm taking my time. And this video that I posted today, this is the most extensive video that I've ever done. And I am quite annoyed with the amount of time that it took me to edit it. But I'm really happy that I'm learning some of these things and, hopefully I'll get better.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things that you said that's huge that a lot of people have issues doing is asking other people how to do something. And it's like you can make things so much easier if you just ask. Some people, they get in their way, they don't want to ask people stuff, and I think that that's weird.
So for me, because I'm one of those people, right, where it's difficult for me to ask for help, and it's a pride issue, and it also stems from not wanting to be a burden and my codependency and my attachment issues. So I don't like to bother people. But then it was like, girl, do you want help? Because the amount of time that you're wasting trying to figure out how to do something, you have resources, you have people around you that know how to do the things that you want to do. And it's like, do you trust them? Do you know them? And so I was like, you know what? Pride, we're gonna take that hat off and sit that down. And I got on the phone, hey, help me with this. How you doing? I know I'm getting on your nerves. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take care of you. Here's a cash app, whatever. So, for me, I had to remove my pride from the situation, and asking for help is not a sign of weakness, which is how I always viewed it. I know that being able to ask for help is a sign of wisdom and it's a sign of strength. So, and I like being strong and wise. So I do that.
It's funny because like if I feel like I would have had a slower start with my interview series if I didn't ask somebody to connect me to Kev. So
Okay.
have a mutual friend, and literally like I had some good interviews and everything, but once and it was funny because like my message to the friend was like, look, I mean, I know I don't want to ask you too much, and just if you can, just let them know that I hit them up, and then I'll do everything else. Like I was trying to make it as easy as possible, and she was like, she was like, just what do you need? like she got more frustrated that I was trying to sugarcoat around it. Like, nigga, what do you need?
What you want? What you need?
And so when it happened, literally it was like, all right, I interviewed Kev, then I got Tahir, then I got CP, then I got Clayton, then I got, and it just kept on building. And I was like, so it was like, it's funny. I know that Kev hates that. I don't know if you saw that that one Zooming with the homies where everybody was doing the Kev saved my life.
Yeah.
But he hates that. But I was like, now every time I hear him, I put that hashtag on it because I'm like, you literally helped change these interviews for me. So.
I came up with Happy Kev's Giving.
Right.
So and I tell them all the time because, we talk about 6 degrees of separation, but it's actually shorter than that. I met Tahir in 2018 when we were doing Heart of the City.
Right.
And we remained in contact. We built a friendship, but we've gotten closer over the pandemic. And because of Tahir, I was able to do All That Digital Squadcast and Trivia Mob and meet Meg and meet Tony and meet Patrick Cloud and meet Kev on stage and meet all of these people that he, works with consistently. Right. And in the organic interactions that I had with Kev and the others, they were like, man, Ty, we like you. You are dope. And then so those relationships kind of spawned off from other relationships that I had. And I just think it's great that they're so giving. And like, even with you, I never heard of a Young Deuces. Young Deuces never heard of a Ty Davis, but because of Tahir and Zooming with the homies, here we are. And you are so critical and impactful into my career and the things that I've been doing the past several months. I was like, well, he gonna ask me, and when he do, I'm gonna sing his praises and I'm gonna give him his flowers and let him know that you are the creator of the first original Yam Fam logo, and I appreciate you for that. You helped me with my Clubhouse Oprah Get Your Ass Out of Here merch that's dropping on Sunday. So I think you're dope, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you.
No, same, man. Because like it was when every time that you was on Zooming with the homies, it was just so dope, like just the energy that you brought, and then like you kept on saying, I was like, you know what, I got this skill. I'm gonna help Ty out, not even looking for anything. I just really wanted to help out, and let you know, like, look, you got supporters. Let's get this started because I believe in what you got going on, And then
listen, and if you had not done that, I'm just being honest. If you hadn't done that, I don't know when it would have gotten done. It would have gotten done, but it would not have come as soon as it did. Like you and Hippie Goals, like when y'all was just dropping, and I was like I cried. Like when I got that first one, I was like, why is he like this? He don't even know me like that. And this is real nice. And I got choked up. And then when you sent the Oprah one the other day, I was like, so he just gonna show off. So he just gonna elevate to the, okay, all right, if you want to be a part of my life forever, just say that.
I get inspired, man. Like I said, I get inspired. And I was like, oh, man, I had this idea while it's funny because it happened while we was on Clubhouse. I was like, I got this idea. Let me go ahead and do this.
And look, so many people was like, yo, how you get your Yam Fam logo? Where you get the Clubhouse over? I have sent your stuff. And I meant to apologize to you because the other day I came off very Marlon Brando, very Godfather, because my home, my peoples, like I'm not gonna send you no trash people. So like anybody that I send to you, that's why I message you like, hey, this is my peoples. They not gonna play with you. You know what I'm saying? Now if it's somebody that's like, who did that logo? And I was like, oh, Young Deuces. You follow him on Instagram. I'm not gonna send you somebody that I'm like, I don't even know you by, but if they my people, if you my people, I'm like, hey.
No, I appreciate the heads up because that's how the way I operate. Like you see how I operate. So I depending on who's who, say things may be a little bit different on,
but that's how the industry works. That's why I hit you up. Hey, Deuces, my peoples is getting ready to hit you up. I just want you to know who they are. And I told her, I was like, hey, I told my peoples, hey, let me shoot him a message, let him know you coming. And then from there, y'all deal with it. I just wanted to do the middleman part, and then I step back. I don't like to be the middleman for a long time. I just in there and I'm out.
So with the Yam Fam, when did you start referring them to Yams? Like where did that all come from?
So this is the funny thing. like for as long as I can remember, I've always talked about yams because one of the reason is some stuff that I'm doing or depending on who I'm around, you can't always say ass or whatever. And then I remember there was that period of time where it was like baby got cakes and everybody was talking about cakes and I was like, man, damn that cake, I got yams because I'm a country girl. And so I would always just say it, man, look, yeah, look at these yams, you better. And I didn't realize how much I said it until I was on Zoom with the homies, and I was like, "Why does everybody keep throwing up these goddamn yam emojis? What is?"
Well,
And I didn't realize I said it that
it
much.
was the slogan that you said, because you said you got these yams that are putting niggas to sleep, and so that kind of like it connected with a lot of people.
That was my stripper name. That's my stripper name, Candy Yams, because these yams put niggas to sleep, and that's with three Z's, three Z's. Yeah.
But
And so, but it's like that's the joy of comedy. It's like that's part of comedy too. Like if we're doing stand up and something that we said on stage, the audience will call it back to us. They'll let us know what it is. So when people were like, yeah, they were throwing up the yams. And so then somebody hit me and was like, well, what you gonna call your people? And I was like, what you mean? I'm gonna call my, what you mean? They was like, you got the Moore Mob and you got the bakery and what you gonna call your people? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't know I had to call them nothing because when I have jokes about being a cougar, so I had the Cougar Coalition, and that was just for women. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, they family, they the fam. And then I was like, yam, fam.
right.
And then somebody was like, yeah, we a Yamily. And I was like, Yamily, because it's yam and family. And so it just went from there. And then just like with the get your ass out of here thing, I always say, shut your ass up and get your ass out of here. And I didn't realize I said it that much until people called it back to me. So,
But it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because when you say it, you got it.
get your ass out of here.
It was like it became a thing. It's like we're living in a sitcom, and like that's your catchphrase.
That's my thing. Yeah. And it's funny because now with Clubhouse, people literally will come and raise their hand and come on stage and they will say and do stuff just so that I can say that and kick them out. And I was like, why are y'all like this? Like, why would you want me to kick you out? But your wish is my command.
Now,
So
now if you ever get a slot on a TV show or something, like how Tony Baker in
get
yeah,
your
gotta find a way to bring it in. It's like when Tony Baker did the Skibbity Paps on the Spectrum commercial, everybody was like, "Oh, snap!" Like that's the thing. Like it becomes a part of you.
I love that. Because it's kind of like Martin Lawrence with Get to Stepping,
Yep.
and you know what I mean. So it's great that there's a thing that people associate me with, and I love it. And I'm always trying to be mindful of what things I say and do because I don't want to be associated with something like bad. You know what I mean? I don't want them to associate me with something like I like sucking. What? Whoa, don't. You know what I mean? Like if I'm out on the street, I don't want somebody to scream out something.
Right.
My kids are right here, So, but if I'm walking down the street and somebody says, "Get your ass," I'm gonna be like, "You from Clubhouse?"
Right. Is Hustle Hard still your morning song?
Yeah. So I still listen to Hustle Hard. So okay. So you better come through research. You better do your research. Better do that. So I have playlists, right? So I have different playlists when I need to be motivated and pumped up. So Hustle Hard is in it. And then it's like the Drake and Trey songs, I Just Want to Be Successful. And then of course, When I'm in My Bag. Can we get Nas Ether for 500, please? So I have a playlist of songs that I play when I'm working and when I'm trying to keep myself motivated. And then I have a playlist of, songs that make me feel good and make me just want to dance and do stuff. So I have multiple playlists. But yeah, Hustle Hard is definitely in it. And that mantra plays in my head often.
Yeah. You know what? What's mine is kind of like in that same sense. I don't know. Do you remember Rocco, the rapper Rocco? He was he had this.
I feel like
he had the song "You Just Do You" and "I'ma Do Me."
yes. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. I was like, I know that name.
He also had a song called "This Morning," which it's just this morning I woke up smelling like money. I looked up, it's one of my songs that I feel like, yeah, when I'm feeling really good or I'm feeling accomplished, that's one of my morning songs right there.
Excuse me.
It's all right. It's all
My
right.
throat was-
But no, so speaking of Nas and music, like you have a good music knowledge as well.
I do all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So just like which is the first thing that I disagree with you with on one is I don't believe Nas won. I believe Jay-Z won that one.
Okay, so if you want to fight, just say that. Because I thought we were friends, and now I see that we clearly are not. So you disagree with me. So here's what I'll say, because sometimes people just hear that one part. So what I will say is this: Nas won the battle. Jay-Z won the war. That's where I'm at with it.
You said that, and people say that all the time. I just disagree with it.
Why you disagree?
Because here's what I believe. I believe Nas came with more jokes, where Jay-Z came with more facts. And when I'm looking at that battle, I sided with Takeover because of the facts that were said, not the jokes. Nas was definitely more funny. And if you're thinking about like roasting, then like yeah, Nas won the roast.
See, I didn't take anything that Nas said as jokes at all. Like he was like,
he called him a Tybo ho. That was
oh no, that wasn't a joke. It was I said what I said. You a Tybo ho. Do you wanna fight? Like after that, I was like, oh, they gotta fight. Them niggas gotta fight each other.
Oh yeah, no.
They
One of the best beefs ever. And it's funny because I love Nas. Nas is in my top 5 just as Hov is. So it's just like I was torn throughout that whole battle.
And if you think about like the diss tracks that they had against each other at the time, because there was another version where Nas was talking about how because he knew Beyonce and he basically was like, "Oh, Beyonce tried to holler, but I was like, nah, I'm cool."
Yeah.
So it was like I don't think Nas was kidding at all. I think it was a legitimate like I don't like this dude because at the time that's when hip hop was like real and gritty. I think that was like the last era of when hip hop was taken seriously. And the beefs that are happening now is kind of like, are y'all really beefing or are y'all just trying to sell these records?
Right.
Like, I don't know. And and Nas said what he said.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
He said what he said. He was minding his own business. And he kept hearing people saying, yo, Jay-Z and Rockefeller and them, they talking about, he like, I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You? What? You been on my dick, nigga. You love my style, nigga. Like, and so I think it was very much the aggression and the ego. And then after that, Jay-Z was like, say no more, fam. You got that. You got that. You won. However, I have more notoriety and fame and money than you. So would you like to come and work for me? And Nas was like, yeah, mama ain't raised no fool. Let's get this bag. So that's what I think it was.
But I also like the respect that they have for each other. Like I don't know if you saw that interview, but Nas said you cannot pay me to perform Ether anywhere. And because he was like, no, let's redo it. And I was like, no, bro, I'm not gonna do that. And I think that's dope.
I get it. I totally get that, and I respected it because it was like, and I've had situations like that in my personal life where it's like, nah, I'm not gonna talk on that. I'm not gonna speak on that no more. That was then. We moved on from it, and a lot of people have done it because you remember when who was the guy, Pusha T and Drake, when they were kind of when Pusha T was pushing Drake around.
Listen here.
Because I was sitting there, I was like, Drake, fight back.
Right.
Fight back. And then Jay Prince was like, nah, we're not doing that. And so he was just like, all right. And I was just like, man, I want them to fight back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it's like the Remy Ma and the Nicki Minaj thing. It was like, okay, we did that, we said that, and now we're done with it. Now there's some people that I have an eternal flame, eternal smoke for, and I always got time. You want me to sing the song? I will absolutely sing the song because I don't fuck with them still. So it depends on the situation, but I definitely respected that. He was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So
Did I forget the clacker out there?
You did forget the clap.
I'm just gonna clap.
You had brought it too.
I know, I'm just gonna clap.
I'm mad because I was definitely expecting you to get it.
I mean, I could
out of me.
quickly go grab it.
Just clap. 1, 2, 3.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces in the building. With me, I got my man Liv.
What up? It's Liberace. It's the Puerto Rican Santa. The spiccato playing, beat making, motherfucking legendary ass Puerto Rican. Sofrito Papi, and we back.
As always, I got my man Bacardi in the building.
Randolph today.
Konnichiwa, bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I hate all of this. I hate all of it.
What's good, everybody? How we doing today? Hey, we got Didge in the building.
What is happening, people? What's happening, people? What is happening, people? What is happening, people?
He's out the booth.
But it's like I said, we are expanding. We are doing more. So they say make sure you go to youtube.com/Geekset. Follow us on all social media at Geekset Podcast on every social media. And rating reviews in, man. We are rating reviewers on Facebook, rating reviewers on Apple iTunes, rating reviewers on Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever platform you're looking at. Give us some ratings, let us know. And then again, this is the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. We are out.
Peace.
Another thing that I want to ask you about, what's your beef with Batman?
Okay, so you definitely want to fight. Okay. So I don't have a beef with Batman, and this is a funny thing. Here's what's funny about it. I never had an issue or beef with Batman until I was in a relationship, and my boyfriend and I, we're nerds. Like we talk about a lot of nerd and geeky shit. So one day we were talking about superheroes and TV shows and stuff like that. And he was like, I don't even know how it started, but he was just like, yeah, man, Batman to kick Superman's ass. And I was like, first of all, nigga, what? We literally had an argument. We almost broke up
Over Batman versus...
because he said that Batman could beat up Superman. And I was like, you sound dumb. And I don't even know what I'm doing in this relationship. You don't get me. You don't respect me. He was like, whoa, how did we get here? No, because think about what you just said. Like, it was a thing. And I'm like, really? First of all, Batman has 0 superhero powers. He don't have no powers. All he got is gadgets. And the reason that he has those dope gadgets is because he's a gajillionaire. So the only reason that you got these dope gadgets is because you got a lot of money and you represent white privilege, okay? Because you so rich and you so bored that you decide to fight crime. Sir.
Well, to his defense, crime killed his parents, so...
Did crime kill his parents, though? Just like everybody else. Just like you ain't special. Do you know how many people lost their Uncle Tay-Tay? Do you know who lost their Uncle Charles? You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one who been a victim of some sad things. You lost both of your parents. You became an orphan. And you were a gajillionaire. Do you know how many people lost their parents and had to go to foster care? They had to get adopted, or they had brothers and sisters and they had to get split up. Shut your ass up, Bruce Wayne. And then the fact that there are people walking this universe that legit believe that Batman can beat Superman in a fight. What?
Well, he has in the comics, though.
Okay, because the comics are trash. the comics are trash. Like, he's Superman. Superman can fly. Superman is strong as fuck. What you talking about, Batman? You got gadgets. You ain't nothing but a rich Inspector Gadget. That's all you do. That's all you do.
Funny is the reason why you disagree with the Batman is why I disagree with Superman. So I feel like Superman represents white privilege because I feel like, oh yes, it's going to be the white man that get every power. I was like, what about the black superheroes? Like, how come none of our black superheroes got all those?
And that's a fair point. Superman definitely is a representative of white privilege as well. But when we're talking about Batman and Superman, these are two guys that have white privilege. It's very much the equivalent of what happened on the Capitol. It's like Trump supporters versus the police. That's what it was. And that's Batman and Superman. And it's like, just let them fight it. Let's see what happens. But if I had to guess, democracy is going to win, which it did. They got over 300 cases and they ain't taking no plea deals. We don't care if you turned yourself in. We not lessening these charges. Nah. It's the same thing with Batman and Superman. Don't nobody care. Y'all both are privileged. Superman, you so privileged that you think all you gotta do is put on a hat and glasses and ain't nobody gonna know it's you. Ain't nobody gonna know it's you. Shut your ass up. Oh, get your ass out of here.
Your ass out of here.
See, look, you done got my pressure up, young dude. I didn't know we was gonna do this today.
Well,
we respectfully disagree, and you still cool with me. That's all.
Now, you did recently start watching, did you complete all the Marvel movies? I remember you went back to watch them all.
Now, I didn't watch WandaVision, but that just came out at midnight. But yes, I've watched them all.
So how was that experience?
First of all, it was absolutely amazing. Because I like film. I like, that kind of stuff. But it was, I know this is going to sound weird, but it was more than just like an amazing experience. It made me appreciate the Marvel films more because I had seen some of them, but I had seen them out of context.
Right.
And then also my then boyfriend, huge MCU nerd. So he wanted to go see Endgame and he wanted to go and I was just like, all right, I don't know what these niggas are talking about, but fine. And he said something to me once and it literally didn't hit me until like just recently when I saw it again. And it was great to watch the films, not in the release date order, but in chronological order of the timeline. And so I was able to understand, oh, that's who Samuel L. Jackson is and how he lost his eye and all of that. So it was great to and I watched it all together. So I had an advantage. I didn't have to wait years in between films like everyone else. So it was like an eye-opening revelation. And I remember one time my then boyfriend, he was like, I love you 3000. And I was like, I love you 3001, nigga. Like, turn up. Like, I love you, I love you too. What we talking about? And he was just like, and like that day he just shook his head. And I was just like, I mean, 3005, like, what you want me to say? And then when we were binging it with BT and I saw it and I was like, that's what he meant? Oh my God. And we're actually talking now. We're not back together, but we are talking because, I had to deal with some stuff and he had to deal with some stuff. And now we're friends again. So that's cool. He can still get these yams though.
What's funny about Endgame, we saw the way I went to go see it when it was in theater, and I was like, man, I'm getting emotional in this movie. Like Endgame was so emotional.
But see, I went to see it in the theater. He took me, and I was just like, oh, the graphics are great, and this is dope. And I remember there was a lady that brought her kids. Like we went to see the movie at like midnight, so it was late at night, and this lady was in there with her kids, and the kids was crying and running around. And I turned into a Karen. I got up and I was like, can you get this lady and her kids out of here because we can't even see this movie. And then I got annoyed that I got up and left, so I had missed stuff, and I was like, I don't even know who this is. And I remember seeing like this character, which I thought at the time was a dog, but he wasn't. I was like, who's the dog? And like my boyfriend and his brother were like, nigga, what? I was like, I told you, I don't know what's happening. I hadn't even seen Infinity War. I didn't know what was happening. And then, the end part, I was like, oh shit, look at all these people. I said, well, they about to whoop Thanos' ass. This is cool. I fell asleep on the movie. So I didn't really get to enjoy it in the theater. And when I watched that, at the end of us watching all the movies, I was just like,
yeah, it hit you. Listen here, the moment when you hear Falcon say on your left, it was like, I felt like, yes, finally. Like, it was just like, it was so weird. It was just like a weird moment when Cap, when he finally got the hammer and the hammer to him. I was so geeked, you would have thought that I was the Super Bowl. Like, it was just so many moments in Endgame that got me. Like, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it was definitely like, I know the part where when it was like the women, I was like, oh, I see what y'all doing. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that part was dope for me. I was like, yeah, go ahead, girls. Yeah, show them how we do this. And then when all of the, you know, the little, I don't know what you call them, the electric circles or whatever, when everybody started coming through, I was like,
yeah, because at that moment you're like, man, we are getting our ass kicked.
But I didn't know that they were all dead.
Yeah, they were snapped away. Yeah.
So I didn't realize they were all dead. And then so my second watch of it, it was definitely emotional. And I like, because when we watched Infinity War, I was like, nigga, what? I was like, what is happening? Like, Thanos is the first bad guy that we've ever seen win like that.
The way
Thanos isn't really a bad guy, by the way. I don't think he's a villain at all.
He's not. I feel like he just took it to the extreme. Like he had an idea and he went way extreme with the idea. It was like, brother, you could have something else with that. With all that power, you could have found a way.
I did a room about this on Clubhouse, and I just really
I'm glad I missed it.
I think that Thanos was grossly misunderstood, and because of the comic book Thanos versus how they presented him in the film, there wasn't that understanding of what his backstory was. He started as a pacifist. He was a nice, introverted, you know, shy guy, only dealt with his family and his brothers. And he became infatuated and fell in love with the mistress of death.
Yep.
And I was like, Thanos is the kind of guy that I want to be with, because he was willing to do any and everything to please this woman.
Yes,
and I can't even get a text back sometimes. Where is my Thanos? That's who I'm looking for. Collect my Infinity Stones. Collect my stone. So.
No, but you know what? So it's funny because like I thought that you were just getting into the Marvel movies just because to get into them. I didn't know that you had this big geeky nerd side to you.
Yeah, like because I remember like the comic book. So my Marvel side was really the X-Men. Like that was my favorite storyline and characters. So my brother used to have comic books, and my mother used to collect comic books. So I would read some of them occasionally. So I knew a lot of the backstory of some of the other characters and things like that. So I always liked it, but I didn't know, you know, in the broader sense. And there's still a lot of characters that I don't know, you know, anything about, but I love that kind of stuff. Like I like sci-fi, I like comic stuff, I like drama, I like romance. Like I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. I like all the shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope because that's one of the reasons why we started the whole Geekset podcast. You know, my listeners know the story, but much respect to all the geek properties out there. I didn't see a lot of people that look like me and sound like me. And when me and my homies, like when we be talking about it, it sounds like barbershop talk. Like how you hear how people, how they talk about like Kobe and LeBron. That's how we talk about Batman and Superman or anime characters and things like that. And I was like, I want us to bring that. I want us to be the forefront of the black geek, the black nerd, but we're not even the nerd that they put on TV. Because the black nerd on TV, he's always the computer geek and, you know, not so cool. I'm like, nah, me and my niggas cool. Yeah, like we get girls. Like, what you talking about?
But being a nerd is cool. Like I was talking to Rodney Perry one day and I was telling him about the room and he was like, wow, Ty Davis, I had no idea you were this much of a nerd. I said, you'd be surprised at the stuff that I'm into. Like I was one of those people that every day before I would stand up every day, 7:00, 7:30, I gotta watch Wheel of Fortune and I gotta watch Jeopardy. And like I would clear categories and I would like, and I just like to know stuff. Like I have a ridiculous amount of knowledge in my brain about the royal family, going all the way back to Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth, Henry VIII. Like I just like to know stuff. I like stuff like that. I don't care. Nerds are sexy.
You know what? I want to get you into anime. I feel like there's some anime that you would like. That's pretty cool.
So here's the thing. I've tried, but I cannot. But my daughter is like a huge anime kid. Like she is into the anime stuff. Like my brothers, I wasn't really into it, but my brothers were big on Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you know. So they were big into that.
Assume that we know.
So they were like big on Dragon Ball Z. And my youngest, she'll be 17 on Sunday. She's a huge anime fan. So I don't want her to hear me. I have to order her birthday gifts today because I'm a shitty mom and I didn't do that already. So I have to pay extra for shipping and handling for it to be here in time. But she wanted all anime stuff.
Okay.
So I'm ordering her, but I can't get with the anime. Like I'm cool, but I like other stuff, but I'm cool on anime.
It's probably depending on which ones people told you. I've been good at making people's lists who have not got into anime because I categorize them based off of easy digestible topics. Like I'm like, all right, if you like shows where people catching these hands, watch this. If you like shows where people are doing this, watch this. Like I categorize that, so the people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try that out.
That's easier because before anime, the only anime I acknowledge is Eat the Cake. Other than that, I don't. But if you talking about cartoons throwing hands, where that's at? I want to see some. Okay.
I'm gonna just make you a list, and what you do with that list, you do it.
We'll go from there.
I'm gonna make you.
Sure.
All right, so
I'm open to it.
Right. So what we generally do on here, we end up doing the top 5. So because you have such knowledge and everything, I do want to get, what is your top 5 albums? It could be any category, but top 5 albums for Ty Davis.
Music.
Yep, music.
Top 5 albums, in no particular order.
No order.
Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Mary J. Blige, Share My World.
Make sure you before you move on from Mary J. Blige, you got to make sure that you go talk to Pat, because his black blasphemy about he said Mary J. Blige is the worst, and I was like, what? So like I've been trying to reach out to him to get him on my platform so I can address him on that, but I felt some type of way about that. So next time you talk to Pat, make sure you bring that up.
The next time I talk to Pat, I'm gonna be like, hey, I heard that you said. Now, if he's saying it because of her dancing, Mary's trash at dancing. Like
he said he said she doesn't have good songs, she can't sing or dance, and I said, you sir are.
That's definitely black blasphemy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lauryn Hill, Miseducation Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige, Share My World. That is specific. That's my favorite Mary J. Album. Brandy, Full Moon album.
Fire.
Let's go Jodeci. I think it's the show, the hotel and the after party. That album. Wow, it's all R&B. It's all R&B.
R&B,
but I like R&B more than hip hop. Okay, we'll go here. Roddy Ricch, please excuse me for being antisocial.
So you know what's funny? I saw you say that that's one of your favorite albums, and I was like, I wonder if that in her top 5, because I saw it because especially with your story about you riding around with the playing the box, and then some. I
was so annoyed. I was so annoyed that happened, but it's like. Here's the thing, because I probably would not have really known or thought to look at this kid. It wasn't until, I started working at radio. So DTLR, they play so I'm hearing all of these songs and stuff every day. Cause before I would have been like, who's a Lil Uzi Savage 21? Who are these niggas? But because I was listening to it every day, it was like, oh, I like that song. I like that. And I just liked, Roddy Ricch's, I'm sorry, they're loud in my background because they don't give a fuck that I'm doing stuff. But I liked one of his songs, and I was like, where can I find this song? So I went and researched, and it was on a mixtape. And so I became a fan of him from his 2 mixtapes. And when his album came out, I was so excited because there's a difference between a rapper and a lyricist.
Right.
And I just was like, I like his words. I like his story. And then I saw him do an interview on the Breakfast Club, and I was like, wow, like he was insightful. And so I was just a fan of his, and I saw that his emotions was poured into his music. So I'm very much about the lyrics and what does the song say and what does it mean? Like, yeah, I like the catchy stuff, but I just think he's really great. I think he's gonna be his generation's, Nas or Biggie or whatever, in my generation. I think he's extremely talented. And on a personal note, I'd kind of like to holler at him. So
he's on your cougar radar?
He's absolutely on the list. List of Cubs I would like to holler at. So it's him, Drake, Trey Songz, Michael B. Jordan, that Kofi Sugar Boy, whatever, Sugar, what's the Green Sugar? Something. It's a sugar movie or a TV show. Queen Sugar, that's what it is. The Queen Sugar Boy.
All right.
That's, yeah. So, right. Yeah, I think that's my 5. But most of my list is R&B, but that's what I like.
All right, so another top 5. So I try to get 2 of them. You said you like to watch a lot of movies and everything. Top 5 movies.
Top 5 movies. Here we go, in no particular order.
Order.
What Dreams May Come.
Okay.
And they all. I'm gonna try to make them not in the same genre. Okay, so What Dreams May Come. Coming to America. Like, I can fucking watch that movie and laugh like I've never seen it before. I will. This is hard because. Okay, Beverly Hills Cop. Because it's like a lot of them, but definitely Beverly Hills Cop. So what I say, What Dreams May Come, Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop.
It gets hard when it's on the spot. You're like, man.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Endgame, just because of the action and so I'll throw Endgame in there, and I'm gonna do The Photograph.
Oh, okay.
It's new, but I'm gonna throw The Photograph in because I feel like The Photograph and Sylvie's Love, those are gonna be our Love Jones and Love Basketballs for this era. So, but I'm gonna throw it in because I really liked it. I love Issa Rae, and I think that Lakeith Stanfield is an incredibly talented actor, a weirdo in real life, and I connect with his weird energy, but he's a dope actor, and Lil Rel was in it, and so yeah.
All right, dope. All right, so the last thing that we do is we do recommendations. It could be anything that you're watching, you're reading, you're listening, something that you think that our listeners and our viewers should check out.
Okay, so I'm currently watching The Crown because I talked about how I have a fascination with the monarchy. But The Crown, I think it's great just from a historical perspective and how true to actual timeline events that occurred during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. I'm a huge fan of Shonda Rhimes. Anything Shonda Rhimes or anything Shonda Rhimes related, watch it. Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, the spinoff show that was created because of Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, her new show that's on Netflix, Bridgerton, anything Shonda Rhimes, watch that. Let me see. What else am I watching? Oh, I'm also reading. I've ordered recently a lot of new books. One of my favorite books is The Coldest Winter Ever. If you've never read it, read that. And Be More Careful, which is a book based on Baltimore. Like, I want to see that on screen. I just hope they don't mess it up. Excuse me, I apologize. That's a regular sneeze, not a COVID sneeze. So, had to clear that up. Woke on Hulu. My guy T Murph is in that, and it's a great show. Sex and the City. I'm a huge Sex and the City stan, and they just ordered a 10-episode revival of Sex and the City. So watch all of the Sex and the Cities, watch the movies, Sex and the City 1 and 2, watch the spinoff movie, He's Just Not That Into You, buy the books, the Carrie Diary, Sex and the City book, He's Just Not Into You book. I think it's great for relationship perspective, and it applies to a wide demographic, not just white women, but white, Black, Asian, whatever. So definitely check that out. And you don't have to be a girl to watch it. I think guys should watch it too, so you can find out what the fuck we be talking about. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I'm doing. I'm also back in school. So I'm back in school because I'm finishing my degree. I'm plugging away at it. But yeah, just watch those things. And of course, watch me, okay? Watch me. Follow me on Instagram at Comedian Ty Davis. The link is in my bio for all of my things, my Yam Fam merchandise and Get Your Ass Out of Here merch, which is dropping on Sunday. My Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, my TikTok, All of that information is there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. The thing that I just want to put out there for people that are listening, if you enjoy the creators in the space that we're in right now, don't wait for us to show up on a Netflix or an Amazon or a Hulu. Support us where we are right now. So continue to watch the Geekset podcast, continue to watch all of the things that he does and listen to the things that he does. And I'm just grateful to have been here. Thanks.
I don't know. Thanks for coming, man. And you actually wrapped it up how I would generally try to get the wrap up and everything. So, but I know that's naturally coming from you naturally being in these spaces and everything.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But all right. Well, man, listen. I have been Deuces. This has been the amazing Ty Davis, and this is 101 with Deuces. Peace.
You like that video? Man, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. We got so many more videos on our page, so make sure you check them out over here. Hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that way you can always be notified anytime we release a new video. You already know how Geekset get down. We got so much coming for y'all, man. Check it out. Stay